evil jailer.
Neo. They wanna know. Hey. Neo. Hey. Neo. Come on. Hey. I want to be famous.
Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And you're Archie Harrison.
Archie Harrison something Windsor Mountbatten. Mountbatten Windsor. Mountbatten? Just Mountbatten.
That's great
Windsor,
because
Mountbatten.
she's not giving him a royal title.
Master
They're not
Archie.
giving him.
Master Archie is such a good... It's so good. It's so good. But I think it's just funny that we're all like Riverdale when it's like, well...
Listen up.
It's not like she named him Oprah, you know? And we're all like, Oprah? Come on.
Anyways, the baby's name is Archibald, is Archie Harrison. Harrison sounds like Harry's son.
I also love that every time we talk about British last names and all that stuff, we forget everything we've learned in the past so that people who have told us the right answers to what their last names are, etc., text us like Joe and are like, I cannot believe you've forgotten everything.
Well, Dr. Joe was mad at us because they came
Rightfully.
to our royal baby thing, and honestly, I'm so sorry, Joe. I don't remember what they said the whole time. Whole event was such a blur because it was at 5 a.m.
But also, I feel like people don't really know what their last name is because some people say it's Windsor, but then it's also Mountbatten, which is a German last
Mountbatten
name.
came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, people are like, no, their name is Mountbatten. And it's like, excuse you? No one was including a Mountbatten in the child narrative.
It's
Never.
Mountbatten. It's Mountbatten. And it's also Windsor. And it's also, I don't fucking know. And I will never know. And I don't even think this kid needs a last name.
Speaking of children, I want to talk about this Us Weekly story. Filed to OMG. Bachelorette Hannah Brown's suitor, Mateo Velez, 25, has fathered 114 children as a sperm donor. I did not read this entire story, but I did read the lead, which reads, so fertile. One of the Bachelorette star Hannah Brown suitors is a very active sperm donor.
Is this just like because
bio.
they released all of the Bachelor bios? That's a way more fun fact than so many of them, I will say.
He's a management consultant from Atlanta, and he describes himself as a sperm donor, quote, on the side. In fact, according to his bio, he's helped create 114 children for all types of families.
So kind. I mean, honestly, it's wild that we pay men to jerk off and then it's charity.
Oh, he's doing good.
Yeah. He's a do-gooder.
As you all know, or some of you maybe don't know, this is our weekly call-in show, Who's There, where we accept your calls, questions, comments, concerns, and we play them and respond to them sometimes on the podcast. We usually begin with commentary, so let's start there because we got plenty of it.
Hi, Lindsay and Bobby, second-time caller, long-time listener. I am your self-appointed resident art world correspondent, and I'm writing a dissertation on the kind of campy performance, so I had to call in when you guys asked for calls about camp. Well, as you guys said, camp is all about celebration of extravagance and taking a playful pleasure in artifice. I always understand it as primarily a reading strategy or a way of approaching the world rather than a property of any one thing. So, there are definitely people out there who are watching, say, When Calls the Heart, seriously, right? They're, thinking of it as a kind of tale of, coal mining, whatever. I don't watch it, but I'm just using an example. And then while others, you guys, are more joyfully reading it as this absurd, over-the-top thing, I guess what I'm saying, as the expert of sorts, is that your particular way of reading popular culture really takes pleasure in humor and artifice, and that is peak camp. So this podcast is camp, first of all, and great news, you guys should have been invited to the Met Gala, and I consider that a real injustice. Crunch, crunch, good for Bella Thorne.
Camp is earnest sincerity in service of the ludicrous or the ridiculous.
Catherine McPhee saying, hi, my gay boys, is camp. Good form, Bella Thorne. Bye.
Hey, Lindsay and Bobby. So I just listened to your guys' episode, and I have to say, you guys were like, what's camp? What's camp? And as someone who studies queer culture for a living, I gotta say, Lindsay joking about all of those things being camp is extremely camp. That's all. Crunch, crunch.
Great things we learned, which is number one, that we're camp.
I knew we were.
Also that we have extremely intelligent and well-read hooligans on queer culture. That's great to know.
And, you know, everything is camp. Nothing is camp. I think after watching the Met Gala and literally suffering through everyone being like, camp, that's not, it is. No, ugh. It is one of those things where the entire performance of watching the Met Gala and the Met Gala itself felt like a performance piece. Mm-hmm. It was two levels, which is usually we watch these things and we're like, is what they're wearing good or bad or whatever, mm-hmm. like however you define good or bad, let's just say. But this time we were
good
like,
or bad.
Is it good or bad? Is it camp? Is it not camp? If it's bad, does that make it camp? If it's good, does that make it camp? What does good or bad mean? And now like my brain explode, you know?
Yeah.
So it became another level of watching it, which I felt was awesome. And I'm like so happy that it was successful in that way.
The only other thing I'll say about the Met Gala is that the worst dressed were Karlie Kloss and Jared Kushner. Not even Jared Kushner. The other Kushner? Which Kushner?
Jeremy. No, it's not Justin or Jeremy. It's like the guy
Joshua.
The guy
Joshua
who owns
Kushner.
Oscar Health.
Joshua Kushner and Karlie Kloss were the worst dressed at the Met Gala. Absolutely.
They were bad. He was probably the worst because she was at least wearing a design that made sense for because like they did a thing with Dapper Dan. Remember, mm-hmm. it was like part of his line that he's doing with Gucci or whatever. So it was bad, but it made sense somewhat. His was like truly made no sense, was bland as hell. I mean, he was terrible.
Even Patrick Schwarzenegger, I was sort of like, camp.
Because it was so terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You showed up in jeans. That's camp.
Well, that was what was so meta, was like anyone whose outfit you didn't like, you were like, but is it camp? Like maybe, because I hate it so much. The only people that were truly not doing it were the people who didn't have anything to say. You had nothing to say about it.
Like imagine coming to the Met Gala in jeans. That's camp.
That's camp. Wow,
it's gotta be camp.
Schwarzenegger a camp icon? Maybe.
Bangs on the door of a queer studies professor at like Columbia, and I'm like, shows a picture of Patrick Schwarzenegger in jeans. Camp? Is this camp?
It was so fun because I think so many people didn't know what camp was. Mm-hmm. And then the people who didn't know what camp was. And then the people who even know more didn't know. And then so it just became this like clusterfuck of celebrities dressed as chandeliers and hamburgers. Sorry, that was just Katy Perry. And like everything, you know?
She's camp. Katy Perry is camp.
Whipped cream shooting out of the bra is camp. Fireworks shooting out of the bra is camp. She did it twice.
Prism, second half, camp.
Second half, first half.
No,
camp.
Prism,
second
first half, camp. Second half, not
Legend.
Camp.
Yeah.
The final thing that I will say that was extremely camp. Donatella Versace's birthday. Can you imagine a campier experience than being at Donatella's birthday party at the top of the standard after the Met Gala? I can't. Anyway, Donatella was there. There's a video posted by Christian Siriano on his Instagram story of Lizzo standing on some sort of thing, elevated in front of everyone. Everyone's all eyes on Lizzo. How could you have your eyes off Lizzo? She's holding a mic, about to sing happy birthday to Donatella Versace. And like we are in literally meme structure. Lizzo says, ha. And who takes over? Rita Ora starts singing happy birthday in her stead. Let's play the audio here because it is maybe the most iconic thing she's done in ages. Ha. Also, we're going to stop talking about camp next week. No more camp talk.
Yeah, sorry. It's not funny anymore.
Hey, Lindsay Bobby, short time. I just wanted to talk to you guys about Lily Collins and how she's kind of crazy and was like talking about ghosts in interviews. The acorn doesn't fall far from the tree because her dad, famously Phil Collins, is obsessed with the Alamo because one time when he was like on tour in San Antonio, he went to a psychic and the psychic told him that he was the reincarnation of Jim Bowie or just like some guy at the Alamo. So he started like collecting Alamo memorabilia, and he has the world's largest private collection of Alamo memorabilia. And he like donated all of his, like, he had so much at one point a few years ago that he, like, donated it all to the actual Alamo because, like, the state of Texas didn't actually own any of the Alamo memorabilia because Phil Collins was hoarding it all. And then they passed a resolution in the legislature that was like, oh, Phil Collins is now an honorary Texan. Like, they legally passed a resolution that, like, made him legally an honorary Texan. So the fact that she was talking about ghosts is not that weird compared to the fact that her dad is, like, obsessed with the Alamo because he thinks he died there. Okay, bye.
Bobby, did you know that Phil Collins was a Texan? You're from the same hometown as Phil Collins now.
I did not know that, and I honestly couldn't feel it coming in the air tonight. That was really unpredictable to me.
How many times are you going to make the same joke about the one Phil Collins
I can
song?
only do it one more time. Like, this is the last episode I can do this.
So I told this story last night because we were with some friends, and I was like, did anyone know this? And you didn't know this.
I didn't know this. No, not at all.
I cannot believe, as somebody from San Antonio, you didn't know that Phil Collins was like
the
number one collector of.
It happened after I moved. Like, it happened in 2015. All of this stuff.
But he had been collecting this stuff for years and years. But then he collected too much of it.
I'm not friends with Phil Collins.
I just love that Phil Collins had more Alamo shit than the Alamo, and Texas was like, "Can we have some?" And he was like, "I guess." You know what I mean?
Texas is like, hey, Englishman.
Right.
Do you mind? Our Alamo Museum is empty and everything's a replica.
Literally
like,
everything has been sold off and you bought all of it. Can we like have it back?
And he was gracious.
That's a nice like, life goal to reconfigure a memorabilia collection or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's really nice to like repopulate it. And it's good for him. It's really nice. The Alamo's extremely stupid. The Alamo's extreme, like, I would say don't get me started, but I'm about to get started. The Alamo's so dumb.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Alamo was a huge loss. Just read every article. There's been so many articles written called, like, Forget the Alamo.
It's a really, like, pathetic thing to be, like, the center of your city. No offense.
It's a pathetic thing. It's a racist thing. It's like truly a nightmare. Like, everyone involved, like, is very unfairly, like, deified. Like, William Travis is like, they're all like kind of scummy people. It didn't even do anything. So the Alamo, they lost. The Texans lost. They were defending this fort in San Antonio from the Mexican army because they were like, hell no, we hate Mexicans. Like, the whole foundation of the battle was extremely racist to begin with. And then they lost. Then they ended up winning the San Jacinto battle a few days later, but only because they did the coward thing. Like, war is stupid to begin with, but they attacked them while they were sleeping. And then the battle for Texas independence wasn't even for like years and years and years. Like, the Alamo battle was such a worthless thing. And the whole line in the sand thing where it's like that's been in all of the stories that Phil Collins loved as a kid about like how heroic all these men were. The men were not heroic. The men were stupid. They were also extremely racist. They owned slaves. Like, it was
the
bad.
Alamo. To somebody who doesn't know the story of the Alamo,
Failure.
It represents it
represents triumph.
But no.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't represent that at all. It represents like an aesthetic, and like this is saying like, oh, he was watching Davy Crockett. Oh, he was, it's just like a cowboy brand. And I didn't know the story of the Alamo, but it's just like a name that represents like
it represents
Western
like
culture.
To someone like Phil Collins, they see it as like you like being strong and never backing down and like never give up, never surrender sort of shit. But really, like, so many things, like so many historical things, we're remembering it wrong, and also everyone involved was like a piece of shit. So yeah, right. Like so much of the Alamo actually represents like kind of like toxic nationalism. It's just like bad, but good for Phil Collins for giving the Alamo some good shit, because that's what sucks about the Alamo. Most of it is a reconstruction. Like, it's so fake when you go to the Alamo. Anyway,
I just have to share just one thing. This is what I always think of.
There's no basement at the Alamo.
Wait, what is that from? What is that
They're
from?
all laughing. From Pee-wee's Great Adventure. Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure. They laugh at him because he's like, gonna go basement. And they're like, there's no basement in the Alamo.
I heard you all reference that last night, and I've never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure. No, I've never seen it.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
That's fucked up. It is so good. It's so he literally the Alamo's like kind of a big part of.
I have never seen it. It was never Pee-wee was not a thing when I was little. Like I did not watch Pee-wee.
There's no Alamo in the basement. You gotta.
Okay,
watch
next
it.
call.
It's good.
Hey, Who Weekly, like medium time. So I just had to pause the episode to go look at Ava Max's hair. And yes, it is a wig, and when she posts in the wig, I've done like a deep search. When she posts in the wig, she always has the long side leaning forward. But when she's not wearing the wig, she has it always like covered up, kind of like her ear touching her chin or like covering one side. And so from what I've seen, she bleached her hair blonde, but also has a blonde wig. And so she wears the blonde wig, which is half short, half long. But her actual hair is also bleached blonde, but is just short. Like, her real hair is just the short blonde, but her wig hair is the half short, half long. So maybe the cookie story is real, but she's totally fronting with the long, half short. Yeah, good from Bella Thorne. Bye.
As is usually the case, the truth is probably somewhere in between the two extremes that we offered.
But from what we have from sources and from our own eyes, it's mostly wig, this creation of haircut. And also, I have to say, this proves it even more. And I don't even know if is Ava Max a hooligan. Yesterday evening, Ava Max posted an Instagram and it says, could you do this in a wig? Probably not. And she's like flipping her hair, to which I say, have you seen Drag Race? You can do many things in a wig, like a lot of stuff in a wig. If it's
Did the hooligans get
secured.
At Ava Max because of our episode?
I don't. We're definitely not the first ones being like, that's a wig, but we did just bring it up literally last week, and this Instagram comes out. I'm a little bit sus. Also, I feel like we've had
maybe
influence.
the story could be real, and then it's a hard hairstyle to maintain because it's a hairstyle that truly requires this deep consistency all the time. Like, her hair always has to look like that. So of course you'd wear a wig. Practically, it makes sense to wear a wig, but she presents it as though it's her she's never really lied about it, as far as I can tell. But the way that the story is told, the implication is that it's real hair. I don't know.
It would just be funnier if, like, you know how like Ariana Grande never claimed that her ponytail was real hair, but now that everyone's like, but now she kind of like flaunts that it's a hair piece. It's really heavy. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, and
like,
she puts it in her
lyrics. I worked
lyrics
so hard to
now.
keep this thing on my head. It like weighs 100 pounds. Like, it's almost funnier to lean into that, or to be to deny. What is that? There's like a comedy bit where, now I'm forgetting, but it's like to have something that's so blatantly a wig, but you're like, it's all my hair, like it's all natural, sweetie, and it's like a neon green like afro or something. Like, that's almost funnier to even to be so kind of, obviously we all know it's a wig, it's like kind of funny, but this is this weird, again, in between where like I can't tell whether you actually do want us to think that it's your real hair, but it's so obvious not your real hair.
Whether or not Ava Max is wearing a wig is still up for debate, but you know what's not up for debate? How good HelloFresh is. Not my strongest ad transition, but I still think it's pretty good. HelloFresh makes home-cooked meals simple, they make it enjoyable and easy, and they make deliciousness part of every week. Lindsay, don't you love HelloFresh?
Love it.
Here's why I love HelloFresh. It makes conquering the kitchen a reality. I love to cook. HelloFresh takes the biggest hurdle out of cooking, which is going to the grocery store and planning all your meals, which leaves exclusively the fun stuff. It comes with fresh, pre-measured ingredients, and easy-to-follow 6-step pictured recipe cards are delivered to your door each week in a special insulated box. You spend less time meal planning. They come together in 30 minutes max. They call for less than 2 pots and pans, so like, even if you don't have much space for kitchen stuff, it doesn't matter because you don't need a lot of stuff. And you can choose from classic, veggie, and family with the option to switch between when your tastes change. You don't have to commit to a certain type. You can change it as the seasons change, as your tastes change. It's amazing. And for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/Who80. That's a great code, Who80. That is $80 off your first month of HelloFresh by going to HelloFresh.com/Who80. And with that, we can play the next call.
I just learned that Regina King's sister is named Reina King, like Reina. which is like, I'm not sure if she's older or younger, but they just took a G off Regina's name and made it Reina's name. And the other funny part about that is that Reina means queen, so it's like queen king in Spanish. Anyway, didn't know who else to call to talk about this, so good form, Bella Thorne.
I'm just going to play this clip really fast because this answers a lot of things.
Regina means, your name means queen, right?
Yeah.
And your sister's name, Reina, also means queen.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
A coincidence.
I love that your
but
name is Queen King.
King, yes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes. Pops knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
My father, my mother was his second marriage, and he had 2 girls before. And so when I came, you know, she was hoping for a boy for him. It didn't happen. And she was going to name me Thomasina.
Oh, I see.
And my dad was like, no. That's not going to work. So he wanted something royal, so Regina King. And then my sister was a bonus child, a surprise. Yeah. And he couldn't leave her hanging.
Right.
So
Exactly.
she's Reina.
I love
Royalty
it.
all around.
Royalty all
I love
around.
it.
Yeah.
2 queens.
Yeah, 2 queens. Yeah.
I really think that's extremely sweet.
Extremely sweat.
It's
'cause
extremely
Also,
sweet.
Thomasina is like, that is a no-go.
No, her mom was like, "Are you kidding?"
I also find it, I know this is unfair, but I find it very charming when celebrities, it's their real name. Like, it's the name that they were born with. And there was a story there, not just like, oh, I changed my name to Bob Dylan because my last name was like too Jewish
dumb.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. But like, I appreciate and celebrate when you continue forth with your real name.
Yeah, and
Katy Perry.
Yeah, Katy Perry.
Hudson.
We're talking to you, Catherine Hudson. Even Katie Hudson. Just because there's a Kate Hudson doesn't mean there can't be a Katie Hudson.
No, there truly can't be, though. You're saying that, but there can't be.
There's only one. As we all know, there's only one Kate Hudson, and she's incredible.
Okay. Wow.
There is a Katie Hudson, though, and she's like she's fine. Kate Hudson.
She's fine.
Katie Hudson is fine. But come on, Reina King and Regina King, they both mean Queen King, and they're because her dad didn't want there to just be one queen and didn't want her to feel left out. That is
even though
just, like,
the second
so
daughter
cute.
was a surprise daughter.
The second daughter is younger. The second daughter also tried to be an actor, so I was trying to look into more a robust history of their family because it sort of seems like they were both child actors, but Reina King, the younger one, was less successful or didn't care because she was in a few things. She was in What's Happening Now, the What's Happening spinoff. Then she was in Made to Order. Then she was in 227 a couple episodes. Then she was in Scrooged as Alfre Woodard's daughter. I hate Scrooged, but I do remember that character. And then she stopped acting, whereas Regina King kept acting, and then she won an Oscar this year. But Queen King, I had to play that call. It's not pegged to anything. It's just so cute.
And the way that you found this and called us reminds me, like, you came to us. I love when you find something out and you have somewhere to go with it, because I also found out a weird thing and I had nowhere to go with it because I'm the place where you would go with those things. Well, I tweeted it, which was like not satisfying enough, but did you know that Barry Watson is married to Natalie Wood's daughter?
I saw you tweet that. I had no idea.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
crazy.
And do you know who her ex-boyfriend is?
Natalie Wood's daughter's ex?
Natalie Wood's daughter's ex-boyfriend is this guy named Josh Evans, who is the son of Ally McGraw and Robert Evans. So literally this woman, I know. So she was dating another kid of tragic Hollywood figures.
Yeah.
And then,
Yikes.
and I only found this out because this woman, same woman, her name is, I'm like, Natasha Gregson Wagner. So you would really never know she was Natalie Wood's daughter. She used to date this screenwriter who is the guy who is adapting the Admissions Scandal, the Varsity Blues story.
Oh,
This
that's
guy-
already being adapted? We
Yeah,
already
so
got
it's
that?
being adapted by this guy named D.V. DeVicentis, who's also an actor. So I was like looking at him and I was reading his Wikipedia, just like kind of scrolling it, and I realized his ex-wife was Natalie Wood's daughter and that her current husband was Barry Watson. And I was like, this is a journey that I feel like no one knows this.
And he wrote the screenplay to Grosse Point Blank.
Yeah. I know.
What a world.
I know. Sorry. It just wrote your journey reminded me of my journey.
Yeah, I love it. We're all having these
Caller.
journeys. If you ever just go on a journey, play it. We got it's like maybe we'll play that instead of all of the calls we got about panel culture, because we got so many calls about panel culture. Didn't play them, listened to them, loved them, but this Regina King call blew my mind. No, you're right. I love being the place people call when they just find out a fun fact. That's really
right, and
cute.
that's a very specific type of information that I guess you could tweet it and you'd get like some likes or a but we're the place that would actually give a shit.
And we want to share it.
That Regina King's name is Queen King.
With like-minded pop culture connoisseurs, because these are the type of people who care that Barry Watson is married to Natalie Wood's daughter, and who care that Regina King's sister's also name is Queen King.
Natalie Wood's daughter is married to Barry Watson. Sorry. Barry Watson, remember him, Seventh Heaven?
Yeah. He was almost going to be a thing and then didn't work out.
My favorite TV show, Who's Brian Who? Who's Brian? What about Brian?
What about Brian? Yeah, what about Brian? When your name is Barry, you shouldn't be in a show as someone named Brian, because everyone's going to get confused.
The whole show was really good. It was called, and they kept being like, what about Brian?
What about Brian on Fox Life?
Okay, next call.
Hi guys, it's Alex in Chicago. Kiefer Sutherland is trying to have a country music career right now, and it seems like it's kind of going under the radar. He released a music video, and it only has a little over 100,000 views on YouTube as of right now, and it was released like a week ago. It's not a good song. He's trying really hard, though. He's trying really hard. I think it would be really cool if he organized a tour. Maybe he could open for Rita Wilson. I feel like that would be a really good, like, mashup of the two of them. And then maybe Melora Hardin could, like, be the dessert. She could, like, come out and do a couple songs at the end. She doesn't seem like she'd be up to, like, a whole set, but maybe just a few songs. Or, like, maybe she could duet with Rita. That'd be fun. If anyone, has the means to put this on, let me know, and we can coordinate something. Okay, love you guys. Good for Bella Thorne.
Kiefer Sutherland, who were them, though? Like, honestly, he's fallen fast.
He's fallen, but he's a them, and I think it's a nepotism them. It's a name them. Sutherland is a
true.
Hollywoody name.
True, and 24 was such a big show.
24 was
when
huge.
It was on.
90s them, 2000s them, 2010s.
But this does not help.
Them.
This does not help.
Well, this is a true peak middle-aged male celebrity where you were like, because Dennis Quaid did this.
Bruce Willis did this.
Bruce Willis did this. David Hasselhoff did. I mean, to a completely different extent. But, know, like where it's like dudes who were hunky 20-somethings grow up and decide that they want to be rock stars or singers. And Kiefer Sutherland did this, and it's always the same old story where it's like, honestly, my first passion was always music, blah, 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 blah.
This is like Trump country music, though. Like, this is like from two country lovers, right?
This is like country.
Yeah.
This is twangy country. This is not Casey Musgraves country, even though Casey Musgraves is authentically country. That is not what I'm saying.
But even though, like, what's so weird about this is that it's like, you got to watch this video. It's shot in downtown LA. He's like on a street corner. So it's also like he didn't even want to go to the country. Like, he's in his own country. And it's so strange because it's like Kiefer Sutherland, he's playing a Buddy Holly guitar, which is strange, which is Buddy Holly's guitar.
What she means there is that the guitar literally says Buddy Holly on it.
But it's Kiefer Sutherland somehow bought or acquired Buddy Holly's guitar and he's playing it, right? Like, that's gotta be it. He didn't just make that.
Yeah, you're right. It's one of those things where it's like rich people embracing their passions, which is what we talked about with Rita Wilson. And he's like, you know what? I'm not only am I going to be a country star, I'm going to buy Buddy Holly's like $1 million guitar or however much it cost.
And Bobby pointed this out too. It's like the most auto-tuned I've ever heard country music.
Let's play a clip here.
I ran into an old friend. We shared some drinks and some old times gone by.
You can hear the computer. Like, you could hear the matrix coming through the other side.
No,
it's
true.
Insane. You can hear it.
But I will say that, like, the chorus is nice. The song.
No, I
grew
like
on me.
the song.
The song grew on me. It's like riddled with country cliches, which is totally fine.
Right.
I think that's a genre. It's a genre of music that benefits from that sort of thing.
Yeah. I also feel a little bit torn about, like, if you were A-list actor, which I guess he is not, but like whatever, and you want to start a country career, wouldn't you, if you weren't like a total egoist? Is it T or no? If you weren't a total egomaniac, thank you.
There you go.
Wouldn't you like call your band like the Ramblers? And it's like the secret is that you're in it, you know, but it's more just like a fun side project that's supposed to kind of like speak for itself. But the fact that he's literally coming out as like, I'm Kiefer Sutherland, the country star, proves that he has no sense of humor, which we already knew because he's like kind of a shitty guy in real life.
Remember what like, Russell Crowe's band was called?
What was it called?
Can you guess?
No, the Crows.
30
Black
odd
Crows?
foot of grunts.
That's like hilarious, right? Because that's not catchy. It's not good. It has nothing to do with Russell Crowe. And it's like the surprise where Russell Crowe just happens to be in the band is like kind of what's charming about that. This is like so fucking self-centered that I hate him for it, you know? Because he's like, I want to be a country star. So it's Kiefer Sutherland, you know?
Yeah.
I hate it.
Dennis Quaid's was called Dennis Quaid's and the Sharks. Fortunately, I just did. I searched daddy actors in bands, and I was like, "Will this get me some results?" And it did. So I got 23 actors who are also in bands, and it's on iHeart.com.
Yeah.
And most of them are young and too young to support our thesis, so I'm going to skip them. But there's Johnny Depp. Remember his Hollywood Vampires?
Yes. Of course I do. He had a good lineup, weirdly. He got a lot of people to do that with him.
Kevin Bacon, the Bacon Brothers.
Yes.
I'm looking for older people because there's a lot of like Michael Cera, Juliette Lewis,
Yeah,
Keanu Reeves.
Well, Juliette Lewis is a great example. She had the Licks or whatever, and that was like they had like legit music. Yeah.
Exactly.
But one of Bruce Willis's albums was called The Return of Bruno, which I always thought was funny. So stupid.
No, but I saw this. I put this in the doc. He started in 2002. He launched a small record label, I'm quoting Wikipedia, called Ironworks to record and distribute music by local musicians. And I was like, oh, he kind of started as like a good guy, just like it's an earnest interest in music.
Sure.
And then he like helped out other musicians, which I find charitable. Like that's nice of him to do that. And then he was like, no, I want to do this myself. So he released his first album in 2016, and it did fine. And then he released this one just a couple weeks ago, and it's already like in the top 10 in Germany.
I mean, Germany, come on. Come on.
But I put this in here too because there is another Kiefer Sutherland peg, which is that Kiefer Sutherland has Met Gala drama from from earlier in the decade. Did you see this?
No.
He got in trouble in 2009. I put 2007 here, but it was 2009 because he headbutted a fashion designer at the Met Gala and got arrested.
He's a fucking
He's like a known drunk.
Guy.
He's like a known drunk.
He's a known drunk. Also,
and do you know why? Did you see why the headbutting happened? Did you read this?
No.
Because the designer bumped into Brooke Shields. So it was an after party after the gala. A designer bumped into Brooke Shields and didn't say, I'm sorry.
So he headbutted her.
The designer.
How dare you bump into Brooke Shields and not say sorry? If I was Brooke Shields, I'd be like, please don't do that on my behalf.
The theme that year was The Model is Muse Embodying Fashion. I found some good looks from that year. One was Amber Rose and Kanye West together. They both look adorable. So young. Look how young they look. Anne Hathaway, I actually weirdly remember this look, but just because it was like big hair. Anne Hathaway.
It's so funny because they all look so basic compared to like yesterday, but that's like what old photos look like.
Yeah.
Who was his girlfriend?
He was there with Siobhan Bonariviere.
Who's that?
They dated for like 4 years. She was in media. She worked at some like fashion publication for a while, but they broke up.
The thing about Kiefer Sutherland, though, in his country music is like not all country music is Republican, but Kiefer Sutherland's country music is Republican. Do you know what I mean? It has like very strong Republican energy. I'm sorry, like I'm just saying.
It has Republican energy.
Yeah.
But
I love this.
Also, if you told me Kiefer Sutherland voted for Donald Trump, I would believe you.
Yeah, of course. He like is Donald Trump. Okay. Also, I love that you have this like never forget Julia Roberts dumped him 3 days before their wedding and then flew to Ireland with Jason Patrick is such good Julia Roberts.
So good. So that led me to reread a profile that I'd somehow never read before. That when you search for it, like you see it cited a lot, like often enough to sort of make me believe that the profile is extremely famous. But it was a People cover story.
It's called Miss Robert Regrets.
Miss Roberts Regrets. And it has an iconic photo of like Julia hugging Kiefer, but like looking away. It's like the perfect actress photo where it's like you can tell they're disinterested.
A great decision here, gotta say.
Oh, yeah.
She she, runaway bride, it out of this bad situation.
Mm-hmm. And it was 3 days before their wedding. You know where they were going to get married? That story is filled with insane details.
Where?
One of
Where?
which is that they were going to get married on the Warner Brothers lot.
No,
That's
why?
where the wedding was being set
Why?
up. In a studio space.
Wait,
like
I'm
a
sorry.
sound stage.
The wedding cake, a 4-tier extravaganza that was to be trimmed in violets and more
Yeah,
seafoam
it's
green
hideous.
ribbings of icing went unbaked. But the staff at Dominic's restaurant, where Kiefer's bachelor party had been hastily canceled, feasted on the cake that had been ordered for dessert. It was an exact replica of a 15-pound roast turkey. A self-deprecating reference to one of Kiefer's recent movies? No. A consolation prize for the traditional Thanksgiving dinner that he had been unable to persuade Julia to serve at their wedding banquet. He wanted Julia Roberts to serve Thanksgiving dinner-themed food at their wedding.
And she said,
no.
hell no. And so he said, well, I'm going to get a cake in the shape of a turkey. And then they didn't get married. It's like, it's so funny. And then she was like, no,
the
I'm sorry,
staff of the
Kiefer.
restaurant ate it.
They ate it.
Oh
Every
my
detail in this story is incredible. And then so she was like, you know what, Kiefer, I'm sorry. I'm like really in love with Jason Patrick. And so she flies to London and then Dublin with Jason Patrick. And they like canoodle and everything's whatever. And then they interview all these people who were at the hotel. It's so funny.
Who
Jason
is Patrick? Patrick
Jason Patrick
the man
is like
suddenly in the
Hollywood
middle of the
royalty.
Roberts- He's the son of actor playwright Jason Miller and the grandson of Jackie Gleason.
Yes.
Where is he now? Where's Jason Patrick now?
He's like, he's not like a personality in that way. He's like
there are
an
so
actor,
many
but he's not.
specific details in this. There's so many good details in this.
It's
We do not have
incredible.
this
So
today. This
we're
is
gonna
insane.
tweet this. By the time this is live, just go to our Twitter and find this story, or just search Miss Roberts Regrets, and it is a phenomenal people story. I was just like, I miss shit like this. Like, it's such a good
So it's
celebrity
like,
thing.
this is so good. Had Julia suddenly turned into a pretty fickle woman who was again ricocheting into romance? Or was she merely seeking solace in the arms of a sympathetic pal? Is Jason now the boyfriend? Or just a friend who is a boy? Oh my God, stop. The two have known each other for at least a year, but here's a clue. Jason, who had been a pal of Kiefer's during the making of 1987's Lost Boys, had been invited to the wedding, but then, according to a friend, had been uninvited by Kiefer as the date grew near.
Yeah, and she was in the middle of filming Hook at this point, so they reference Tinkerbell a lot. They're like, well, she just put on her Tinkerbell costume, and then like whatever, and then it's like they mention Tinkerbell a lot, and then there's this really good line where they say what she ate. Hold on, let me find it. And it's like she was spotted. Here we go. 2 days after Kiefer had flown to his 300-acre spread in Whitefish, Montana, to spruce things up for their planned honeymoon. So Kiefer is literally in Montana getting things ready for their honeymoon. Julia temporarily sprung from her duties on Hook. They mentioned Hook like 5 times. Headed for the chic Canyon Ranch spa in Tucson with some friends. But who should turn up at the spa the same weekend? None other than Jason Patrick. There, on Sunday night, June 9th, after supper of chicken piccata and peanut butter yogurt, Julia, says an eyewitness, discreetly left the dining room with Patrick, who appeared to be comforting her. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. He got a tattoo of a heart with a... Oh my
Kiefer's friends,
God.
one of Kiefer's friends, like, shits on Julia by calling her Tinkerbell. And then he goes, Julia is very
Well.
much Miss Tinkerbell romantic. 1 minute she's in love with this guy, and the next the other.
I mean, to be fair, she did hop around a lot with a lot of A-listers, but she really avoided some bad shit by not marrying. Like, she was smart to not marry fucking Kiefer Sutherland.
Incredibly smart to not marry Kiefer Sutherland. Anyway, Julia Roberts, I think... I mean, maybe we don't, but like Julia Roberts was such a good famous person in the 90s. Like,
We're like so
maybe she
lucky
was
to have
miserable,
her.
but, like,
To this day,
as-
we're still
to an
we're still
observer,
lucky to
she
have
was
her.
Such a good famous person, and there really are like not precisely,
Hello?
but in terms of
Oh, you're good.
attitude, like the comparisons to Jennifer Lawrence are so spot on. They have the same. They have the same attitude, and it's like
it's a frantic, exciting, and magnetic energy that they both have. I wish Jennifer Lawrence was single longer. I'm like mad that she's engaged because she would have given us so much more, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Like she didn't have like Julia Roberts was all over Hollywood. Like she was dating so many people and it was fun and it was exciting. And Jennifer Lawrence like kind of went into hiding, probably because she's learning from Julia Roberts, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, That's crazy.
We
But
got diverted, but it was good.
I have to make this. I had to put all that in there because
It was good. I've never read that story either.
Kiefer Sutherland was married twice to someone named Camilla Cath. Then he was married to someone named Kelly Wynn, and that failed. He's currently engaged to someone named Cindy Vela, and I kind of hope his third love is a charm. Lindsay, tell me more about third love. Why is third love a charm?
Oh my God, that was incredible.
Thank you.
Well, Kiefer's third love may not be a charm, but you know what is a charm?
What?
These bras. Did you know that Third Love uses data points generated by millions of women who've tried their Fit Finder quiz to design bras with breast shape and size in mind for a perfect fit and premium feel. They have more sizes than most other brands, and it's just convenient to buy this stuff online. Who wants to go to the store when you can just buy the perfect fitting bra online?
That sounds great.
So they have a 100% fit guarantee. Every customer has 60 days to wear their bra, wash it, put it to the test, and if you don't love it, you can return it and they'll wash it and donate it to a woman in need, and they'll give you a full refund, and they're free and easy. They're hands down the most comfortable bras you'll own. Third Love knows that there's a perfect bra for everyone, so right now they're offering 15% off your first order. So go to thirdlove.com/who to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's Third Love, not Kiefer Sutherland's Third Love. That's thirdlove.com/who for 15% off today.
So now that we're done with that ad, Lindsay, I'm going to play 3 calls back to back. Okay, you ready?
Oh my God.
You ready?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
you ready?
God.
You ready? Here we go. 1.
Yeah.
Hey, Lindsay and Bobby. So, Channing Tatum, also known as boyfriend of Jessie J, posted an Instagram photo of himself naked in a shower because apparently he lost some sort of Jenga bet to Jessie J. The weird part to me is he called her Jessica Cornish in the post, which, like, I get not wanting to call your girlfriend by her stage name, but he said it twice, like her full legal name. That's kind of weird, right? Is she, like, rebranding or something? I don't know. Thanks. Scarjo Yums. Bye.
Who is Jessica Cornish?
Jessica Cornish. Who or that?
I
Jessica
love
Cornish. It's
that,
so
like,
funny.
There's a mixture of like people
I'm
being
crying.
delighted.
I don't know why I'm crying.
Do you think that there are like Channing Tatum fans and people who know about Channing Tatum who are like literally who is Jessica Cornish? Yes, they are.
Yes.
Like they don't know who Jessica Cornish is. And then you're like, oh, it's Jessie J. And they're like, I don't know who that is either.
And then they're like, wait, that doesn't help.
Yeah. Her name is Jessie J's real government name is Jessica Ellen Cornish, as in Cornish hen. And
Ellen.
she is British, so
Ellen.
Is
Okay.
Jessie J rebranding to Jessica Cornish, or is she debranding?
It's not even that funny. Oh my God. I'm
It
just
is
like,
funny.
I'm having a fit. Okay. First of all, I think I wouldn't be surprised if she were debranding, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Channing Tatum is just a weird kind of dopey robot who doesn't realize what he's doing.
No, but I
The
think
full-
also he's being sweet. Like that is her name.
Yeah,
Maybe
he's like,
that's like
I don't call, she's my girlfriend. We're intimate.
I don't
It's
call her
close.
Jessie
It's
J.
a familiar-
That's so weird. Yeah.
So
You should just call
the
her Jess.
The caption is, what if he calls her Jessica Cornish? What if it's like an in-joke and he actually
I
calls her
still
Jessica Cornish every time?
I still feel like we're living in a fucking weird world. Like I cannot believe that they're dating. Like it is shocking to me.
Like Donald Trump is president, I'm fully used to that fact. I see him in in front of a presidential
and you're like, all right,
symbol,
I
and
guess.
I'm like, okay. I see Jessie J holding hands with Channing Tatum, and I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
What
yeah,
is this
yeah,
world?
Yeah.
Listen to this caption. So the caller pointed out that he brings up the name twice, which is true. But when you read the full caption, it is utterly bizarre. So it's a photo of him like in sort of like, what do you call those? He's not fully naked. He has like
He's
something on.
pretty naked.
But you can tell he has, what do you call like?
He's in an
not
outdoor shower or whatever.
Not a, what do you call them?
What?
What guys wear, like what you wear.
You're a guy. I
No,
don't
but
know.
what you wear whenever you're shooting like a nude scene in a movie and it makes you look
Oh,
naked, but
like
you're
a
not really.
flesh, like
yeah,
a
he's
flesh
wearing like a flesh colored
cup.
thingy. But the caption is, I lost a game of Jenga to Jessica Cornish. The loser, me. Which you already said I lost. Like, there's so much redundancy here. The loser, me, had to post a picture the other person, Jessica Cornish, picked. SMH and FML. I'm never playing Jenga with her ever again.
I think it's so sweet. But you know what? I put that Google search there. When you search Jessica Cornish, you get Jessie J's Wikipedia first and then that Instagram second.
So I did the same thing, and I got that like a little further down the list. So we have slightly different results, but it is on the first page.
It's on the first page.
The funniest thing, though, is when you click on Jessie J's Wikipedia, which I'm want to do, it says not to be confused with Jessie J with a Y, Jesse James Decker, or Juicy J.
Who's Jessie J with a Y? There's another Jessie J spelled Jessyj. Also, did you know that she named herself Jessie J for no reason? Like, there's no reason.
No. Wait.
There's no reason.
How do you know that?
Because it says, in this piece where she was interviewed, it says, my sisters Hannah and Rachel were both there. It was a full-on family experience. And I was named Jessica Ellen Cornish. To be honest, there's no real reason for the J in my stage name. I always feel like I disappoint people when I say that. You do. Are you fucking hyperventilating? You are.
I'm sorry.
Why do you think this is so funny?
No, I'm sorry. Go to the other Jessie J's Wikipedia. It's just like perfect. The photo, everything about it is perfect.
Who is she?
She's a jazz musician, and the photo is just her playing saxophone.
Oh my God. Jessica Arellano, known by her name Jessie J. Oh no.
Do you know what the J stands for in her name?
What? Jazz?
That's why I'm laughing, Lindsay. I'm sorry. It's so funny.
Wait, what's wild is that Jessie J. Jessica Ellen Cornish. She could have also said the J stood for jazz.
It's
the J
really
stands
good.
for jazz. Does she know about Jessie J?
I don't think most people know about Jessie J.
Does Jessie J know about her?
Oh, but this Jessie J was first. This Jessie J went by Jessie J, like was doing this before Jessie J, I think. I'm trying to figure out this timeline.
She's 36 years old, and Jessie J
Jessie J is like a couple years younger than we are. Jessie J is like 30, 31. Wow. God.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe that.
Yeah. The J stands for jazz. And in Jessie J's case, our Jessie J's case, the J stands for literally nothing. Jessica Ellen Cornish.
We cannot call her Jessie J anymore. I feel like she's transcended Jessie J.
She's Jessica Ellen Cornish.
Jessica Ellen Cornish, my new favorite pop singer.
Hi, Who Weekly. It's Daniela coming from New York. Is Hassan Minaj a who or a them? Crunch, crunch. Sergio Yummy Pop. Bye.
Who are them? 1, 2, 3. Who?
Them?
Really?
I don't know.
Make a case.
He's pretty popular. People know who he is. Netflix stuff. Comedian. No, you're right.
Do you know anyone who watches that show? No offense.
To the show? To me?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
No,
I mean,
I never hear anyone talk
feel
about
like
that show.
people, though, kind of do know who he is.
I feel like people like him. But I don't really think that he's
themmy.
I don't think he's themmy yet.
He's cuspy.
No. Maybe he has name recognition. Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. Fine.
And the White House Correspondents' Dinner was sort of a big thing for him. But also it was the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And Michelle Wolf's a fucking who.
And Michelle Wolf is definitely still a who. And her show is over. At least his show. Yeah.
I think he needs a little time. I think he's still a who.
Okay.
Hi, long time, medium time. Is Henry Winkler a who or a them? And then is the Fonz a who or a them? Scarjo Yummy Pop, the scrawny little Fonz.
1, 2, 3.
Them. And especially because of Barry being popular, so he's kind of back in the conversation.
And even though comparatively, like even especially to other shit on Game of Thrones, you know, Barry's definitely a hooey television show. Henry Winkler's Emmy win was like it was like a cute big deal.
But also
so
the
even if you had no idea what Barry
is kind of an iconic.
Like, the Fonz is iconic. What's his name from Arrested Development is iconic.
Yeah.
But the Fonz is incredibly iconic, and in specifically in 2019, 2018, him winning after all that time
Yeah.
was a cute thing that I think reminded people of him. I think he's a them.
There are many routes to Henry Winkler, like for all different ages.
Hey guys. So obviously everyone's talking about the Met Gala and Ezra Miller's costume of all of those eyes and that mask. I actually had no idea who he was and had to Google him, but maybe I'm just really out of it. So is Ezra Miller a who or a them? Thanks. Bye.
Ezra Miller. We've done this 100 times. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's see if anything's changed. 1, 2, 3.
Who? You know, I literally remember when I was like, he's going to be a them in like 6 months. And then like I was so wrong. I mean,
we were both wrong.
Even just like him kind of stealing the show at the Met Ball, like really having I keep saying Met Ball. Isn't it Gala? It's the Met Gala. I think we said Met Ball the whole time and it's like Met Gala, whatever.
Who cares?
Whatever. His look was incredible, but still people were not sure who he was, which maybe was also because the outfit kind of disguised him a little bit, but people were still like, oh, that's Ezra Miller. I don't know who Ezra Miller is. And the Harry Potter shit really has not done much for him, I think.
No.
Okay.
No, he's still a who.
Yeah.
Is Rite Aid a who or them? Crunch, crunch.
Sounds like Spina. I texted him, did you call and ask if Rite Aid was a who or a them? He was like, no, but is it?
No, but is it? 1, 2, 3, them.
Who? I
What?
honestly feel like the only them pharmacies are CVS and Walgreens. And everything else is a who.
Rite Aid has been there forever. Rite
Is
Aid's
Rite Aid
old.
national?
Yes.
You sure?
Wait, isn't it? Yes.
I just feel like CVS or Walgreens are fucking who is it? Dwayne Reed, that's a who.
It's also the largest drugstore chain on the East Coast and the third largest in the United States.
Okay, after CVS and Walgreens.
Yeah, but still.
Okay, I guess.
Opened its first store in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Wow. Incredible.
And
Cue
they
the
took
Office
over
music.
Eckerd.
Okay. What's next?
Hi, Who Weekly. Is Carrie Mulligan a who or a them? Crunch, crunch.
Oh, no.
1, 2, 3, them. I feel like she's not doing much, but I think that she struck a nerve at some point early on in her career, and it hasn't gone away. We still know who she is. That
I don't
name,
know.
that face. I think that she's still a them.
She could
She's a
slide
who.
into Hoodum so quick, but I guess right now I would say she's a them.
She married the Mumford.
She married the Mumford. She reminds us of Michelle Williams. We, like when Michelle Williams
rooting for her. We're all rooting for her.
We're rooting
and
for Carrie Mulligan. We loved An Education. It's good.
It is a perfect movie.
Is Jenna Marbles a who or a them? Crunch, crunch.
1, 2, 3, who?
Who? Literally, a friend of mine walked by her wax figure and made a joke about she didn't know who it was. And I was like, I think that's Jenna Marbles. And it was embarrassing. And I knew. But she
Was
didn't
it?
know it was Jenna Marbles as a wax figure.
Why does she have a wax figure?
That's what I'm saying. These wax figures, you can't trust them.
No, Jenna Marbles is a who. She's
YouTube
what?
who.
She's YouTube? No.
OG
she's
YouTube who. Famous for
No.
that one makeup tutorial that was actually very funny that went viral. Like 100 years ago.
Hi, is Leona Lewis who, an international them, or a British them, but a U.S. who? Thanks.
1, 2, 3. Them.
British
Who?
them.
British them.
American who.
She's just such. I mean, the thing about Leona Lewis, it's one of those things where, on paper, she is a who. She is a who by every definition, but she's been a who for so long that she's kind of a them. You know,
Like she's just been around. When
she's
you're
been around as sort of like the brunt of jokes.
But British people
for
also
so long.
definitely know who she is.
Yeah.
Remember her
And
sleep song? Her like iconic sleeps?
Yes. So I think she's a them, but being a who is in her DNA. I don't know.
Okay.
She'll never not be a who, but she's a them.
Sure.
Hey, Who Weekly. Are tiny houses who's or them's? Good form.
1, 2, 3.
Who?
Thems.
No,
they're thems.
No,
They're trendy.
No. Yeah, that makes them who's. Tiny houses are who's. They are a passing fad. Everyone who's getting a tiny house in like a year is going to be like, why the fuck did I sell my big good house and for this tiny ass house? You know it's
Okay.
true.
It's a who. It's a who.
A trend.
Tiny
all
houses
these
are who's.
shows about all these people. I saw a tiny house episode where this poor old couple lived in Vermont and they were like, we just want to downsize, and they rented out their big beautiful Vermont house that they'd had for 1,000,000 years. They made the dad throw away all his beautiful garbage that he was in love with so they could move into literally the size of my bed, like queen size bed house. And it was so sad. Their kids were helping them. They were like, I was just like this. And they rented out their beautiful house. And then the dad had to just sit in the backyard of his bed, his queen size bed house, and watch these people enjoy his beautiful house with it. And he just had to watch.
Wait, they lived in the backyard?
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Tiny houses are whose. And I hope that those people moved back into their house.
God, capitalism, man. Late stage capitalism. It ends with everyone in a tiny house.
Late
and then
stage capitalism,
renting.
we all lose our mind and we end up living in my queen size bed.
We own queen size bed houses and then we rent out our other houses to rich people while they go on vacation. A nightmare.
More depressed than when I watch tiny houses when a family of 4, including 2 little children, move their family into a tiny house.
I hate it.
Sarah Chalk. Who or them?
1, 2, 3.
Who? Whatever,
Who?
moving on.
What?
Yeah.
Whatever, moving on. Okay, next call is...
Hi, I'm calling for my friend Abby. Linda Cardellini, who or them?
1, 2, 3.
Who?
Them. I think she's a them.
No, she's not. Prove it.
I think she's a them now. I think Freaks and Geeks was huge. She was just in Green Book, which won Best Picture. She's been on television for so long.
No one knew she was in Green Book. Freaks and Geeks was 100 years ago. Keep going.
I think she's a TV
She was great in Mad Men,
fixture.
but still a who.
She's a TV fixture.
A
You
TV
think she's a who?
fixture. She's a TV fixture.
She's a TV star. She is a TV star.
I just imagine Linda Cardellini coming to your house and holding up your TV, and you're like, she's a TV fixture. She's just holding your TV for you as you watch it.
She's
whatever,
she's
man.
A them. Are we going to disagree here?
Yep. She's not
Wow.
Brie Larsoning.
Linda Cardellini, them. I'm sorry, Linda Cardellini.
Who?
Them. I'm not changing
Linda Cardellini,
my,
who?
I'm
This is our new
not
Josh Charles.
Changing my
Linda
very
Cardellini,
similar.
who?
If anyone's a Josh Charles, it's Linda Cardellini.
Linda Cardellini, who? Linda Cardellini, them. You decide.
I'm doing the Meryl Streep. Linda Cardellini, them. Pointing. Yes. Linda Cardellini, them.
No, Linda Cardellini, who?
Linda Cardellini, them.
Not a judgment. I like her, but I'm just saying Linda Cardellini.
She was
Linda
the murderer.
with the name Linda Cardellini.
She's the murderer in Legally Blonde. She's a them.
That's true. Spoiler.
I'm sorry. If you're the murderer
Keep
in Legally
going.
Blonde, you're a them. If
Keep
you're a murderer
going.
in Legally Blonde, you're a them.
I hope this could be done separately, but Dave and Buster's, who are them? Crunch, crunch.
1, 2, 3. Them.
Who? No.
Dave and Buster's is huge.
No.
Are you kidding?
No.
Dave and Buster's is everywhere. Everyone knows it. Dave and Buster's is
It's
the
like
brunt of
Chuck
so
E.
many
Cheese,
jokes.
them, Dave and Buster's who?
Dave and Buster's is a completely different sort of establishment.
It's kind of hooey, honestly.
Dave and Buster's is a little more skewed
Who's
for
Dave?
adults.
Who's Buster? I don't know them.
Who is Chuck E. Cheese?
Well, we all know who Chuck E.
Well,
Cheese
he's
is.
the bear.
Charles E. Cheese.
Charles E. No, is his. You know
He's
what?
a rat.
You know what E stands for?
What?
Entertainment.
That's like my middle name is Danger, but my middle name is
It's
Entertainment.
jazz. It stands for jazz.
Why didn't they name the royal baby Seven Entertainment, Harrison, Sussex, Mont Blanc or whatever that.
I'm sorry. This is extremely funny. Someone told me this recently, and I can't remember who. And I hate mentioning things when I can't remember who told them to me. But if you're the person who told me this, thank you so much. The Chuck E. Cheese Wikipedia contains his backstory, which I did not know until recently. Chuck's official backstory is that he is an orphaned mouse who does not know his own birthday. His orphanage was called St. Marinera's Orphanage. To make up for never... Wait. This is the craziest part. Wait,
St. Marinera?
St. Marinera, like the sauce. Listen to this. Wait, listen. To make up for never having a birthday party of his own because he was a sad orphan mouse, Lindsay, that's why he hosts parties for children.
What a fucking demented hell life that you set yourself up for, Charles.
After winning a Pong tournament, Chuck moved to New York and started working as a singer at an Italian restaurant, where he also met and befriended a musically inclined chef named Pasquale. Eventually, he moved to California and created his own restaurant franchise, with Pasquale becoming his star chef and later joining his band.
It's like Pascal.
No, it has a Y on the end, Lindsay. Pasquale.
What's Pasquale?
That's Chuck E. Cheese's best friend. They would go on to find others to join the band, eventually recruiting a talented vocalist chicken named Helen Henny, a purple monster named Mr. Munch, parentheses, who absolutely loves pizza, and a country music loving bloodhound named Jasper T.
Can I just
Jowls.
say, I respect children, but no one needed this backstory, and who asked for it?
On Business Insider, it says, "The surprising and horrifying backstory behind Charles Entertainment Cheese." And then the bullets at the top, it says, "Chuck E. Cheese's full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese." Bullet 2. According to his official backstory, he's an orphan. Bullet 3. He never had his own birthday, so he fills the void by hosting birthday parties for everyone else.
Void.
Incredible. Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Yeah, does Dave or Buster have that backstory? I don't think so.
Hold on. No, it was just started by two friends.
Fuck.
Dave and Buster. David Corvo and James Corley, and James went by Buster.
Oh, God. Dave and Buster's. Nothing will compare, though, and this is now we're really getting over
Dave and Buster's.
our life. Nothing will ever compare to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. My favorite.
Oh, that's incredible. Isn't Ruth's Chris like Ruth
bought
Chris
Steakhouse
Steakhouse and was like, it's Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. That's what it was, right?
And the fact that people in their normal day-to-day lives just put up with the fact that there's a place called Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is fucking insane. We should be burning that place to the ground. It is insane that we let that happen.
Don't burn your on this show. Don't promote arson. No, we don't do arson here.
But you know what I mean. It's shocking that we let Ruth's Chris Ruth is like, "I'm here and I'm renaming the steakhouse." And they're like, "So Ruth's Steakhouse?" She's like, "No, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse."
Okay, I'm not doing the last two because who gives a shit? This is over. Thank you for listening to this demented episode of Who's There.
We eventually got there.
It took a while. We got there. Buy tickets to our Nashville show, which is June 1st, I believe. I'd say buy tickets to our DC show, but guess what? It's sold out. You can still buy tickets to our Boston show, selling out quickly. Gotta be great. WhoWeekly.us. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Support us on patreon.com/WhoWeekly for bi-weekly extra episodes and a weekly newsletter. And also buy merch on WhoWeekly.us because we have a lot of merch and people love it. We will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Keep calling in at 619-WHO-THEM if you have questions, comments, concerns, or if you have something to say about Charles Entertainment Cheese. Goodbye.
Bye.
They want to know.
Hey. Hey. I want to be famous.
Hey, Lindsay and Bobby. First time, long time. I'm the Big White Belle fan. I loved her in Home Again. She's been great in everything. And I just have to say that obviously the fans of Like Belle are called bellhops. We're bellhops. Bellhops. That's what we are. Thank you so much for your time. Good form, Bellathorn.